Lieutenant Raiden was used to sudden calls, but this one was strange. The message came directly from the alien flagship's command center. It said only one thing: report to Commander Zalara immediately. There was no reason given, no injury reported, and no medical emergency listed. Still, Raiden grabbed his kit and walked fast through the silver corridors of the ship. The guards at the entrance did not stop him. In fact, they looked nervous. One of them, a tall, four-armed alien with bright red armor, muttered, "She waits for you alone," and stepped aside. Raiden frowned but said nothing. He entered the command chamber. It was quiet, too quiet there. She stood, Commander Zalara of the Thalari Empire. She was tall, beautiful, and dangerous. Her long black armor shimmered under the lights. Her golden eyes locked onto Raiden the moment he entered. There were no other officers inside, just her and now him. Raiden stood straight. "Commander, you called for medical assistance?" She took one step forward. "Yes, human," she said, her voice smooth but commanding. "I require an inspection." Raiden blinked. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "No, but I need you to inspect my body." His breath caught. Was this a joke? Some test? Her expression stayed serious. "I don't understand," he said, careful with his words. Zalara crossed her arms. "I am not requesting. I am giving a direct order. Inspect me now." Raiden opened a scanner and stepped closer. "All right. I'll run a surface scan, vital signs, toxins, basic readings. Just to be clear, you're not in pain?" "No pain," she replied, "but something inside is changing. I feel it." Raiden moved the scanner over her shoulder, then her chest, then her sides, trying to avoid awkwardness. Her skin temperature was higher than normal. Elevated. Heart rate fast but steady. Strange patterns flashed across the screen. He frowned. "This isn't standard. Your body's reacting to something, but I need more details. Did you visit a medical zone recently? Did you enter a high radiation field?" Her gaze did not waver. "That's classified." Raiden sighed through his nose. "Commander, I can't treat what I can't understand." She stepped even closer, now inches from him. "You are not here to treat. You are here to examine. I chose you, human, because your presence is affecting my body, and I want to know why." Raiden stepped back slightly, unsure what she meant. "What do you mean affecting? Like an allergic reaction?" Zalara's golden eyes narrowed. "No, I mean awakening." Before Raiden could ask more, the scanner beeped again. Her blood cells were changing shape, adapting. But to what? He looked up confused. "Commander, your body is responding to me? It shouldn't be possible." "But it is," she replied, "and only with you." Paused. "You've been around other humans before?" "Yes," she answered, "but none triggered this." Raiden lowered the scanner. His mind raced with questions, but none had answers. Why was she changing now? What made him different? She turned away and walked to the center of the room, her long hair flowing behind her. "I was near the Heart Star during a solo mission. I did not report this to my empire. Since then, my biology has become unstable." Raiden stared at her back. "You should be in isolation, Commander. This could be dangerous, I know," she said. "But my people fear weakness. If they find out, I will be removed, replaced. I cannot allow that. You will help me." Hands tightened around his scanner. "Why me?" She turned to face him again. Her voice dropped. "Because when I stood near you the first time, the symptoms stopped. When you left, they returned. I tested it 4 times, in silence. You are the constant." Raiden felt the weight of her words. He wasn't just a medic anymore, he was a key, a variable in some alien reaction. But if he helped her in secret and failed, it could mean war. If he told the higher command, she would be cast aside like broken tech. He looked into her golden eyes. She did not seem scared. She seemed determined. He spoke quietly. "Commander, if I say yes, what exactly do you need me to do?" She stepped forward, almost close enough to touch. "Be near me. Touch me. Observe. Report what changes. But only to me." Raiden hesitated, but not for long. Something in her tone told him this was not just about survival. This was about trust. It's about something older than war, deeper than politics. He nodded. Then I'll stay. But I need access. 2 better tools, more data, and time. Zalara smiled for the first time. You'll have it. And human, she added, her voice softer now. Thank you. Raiden didn't reply. He just stood there, knowing his simple life as a medic had just ended. Whatever this was, it had already begun. The door hissed shut behind him as Raiden stepped into the private chamber assigned to Commander Zalara. The room was dim, quiet, and warmer than usual. Strange glowing vines lined the walls, pulsing with a soft blue light alien technology he had never seen before. She stood in the center, without armor now, wearing a long black robe that shimmered like oil. Her golden eyes locked on him the moment he entered. I told the guards no one else is allowed in, she said, her voice calm but firm. Raiden nodded. No one followed me, he replied, placing his medical kit on a low table. You said the symptoms returned. How bad is it now? Zalara pulled her robe open, revealing glowing patterns moving across her skin like living circuits. They weren't. Just marks they were alive, shifting, reacting. Raiden stepped closer, eyes wide, holding up his scanner. The device beeped instantly, her heart rate had doubled, but she wasn't panicking. Her blood cell structure was mutating, but not in a way that made any medical sense. Your body is changing faster, he muttered, scrolling through the data. Almost like it's learning. She raised one arm, the glowing pattern crawling up to her shoulder like fire under glass. It started again after you left. But now, it only stops when you're close. Even the robe can't block it. Raiden hesitated, then slowly reached out, touching her bare shoulder with the back of his hand. The glow dimmed instantly. Her breathing slowed. Her temperature stabilized. The scanner quieted. It responds to me, he said, shocked. It needs you, she replied. He took a slow breath. Commander, this is not just biology. This is something else. This feels like design. Zalara looked down at her arm. Long ago, our ancestors were shaped by beings far older than us. We called them the architects. Their legacy was lost, but maybe not forgotten. Raiden stared at her. Do you think this is a message from them? I think my body's awakening to a truth buried for generations. A truth that connects your kind to mine. He looked back at the scanner. Her readings weren't just strange, they were impossible. Cells were unlocking new sequences, proteins folding in ways no Thaleri had ever shown. And the strangest part, they matched certain human DNA structures. Commander, he said slowly, your body is syncing with mine. Your cells are copying something from me, maybe stabilizing themselves through it. She stepped even closer. You understand now why I chose you. I cannot go to my people. They would see me as impure. But if we're linked, Raiden said, thinking fast, this could be dangerous for both of us. What if the mutation spreads? What if I change too? Zalara's golden eyes narrowed slightly. Then we adapt together. Or we fall apart together. Swallowed. That was not an answer he expected. She walked past him and sat on a glowing stone bench. You need to scan deeper, not just skin level. I give you permission to inspect all systems, no secrets, not from you. Raiden sat opposite her. I'll do it. But if I find something deadly, I need your word. You'll let me bring in help. I trust you, human, she replied. But only you. He began the scan. Her pulse fluttered at his touch, but she stayed still. As he worked, new data appeared, something under her skin, not mechanical, but not fully organic either. A cluster of cells that acted like a memory core holding images, sounds, even code. Then something strange happened. The scanner flashed red. Raiden's arm started tingling. He pulled back fast. The sensation stopped. What just happened? He asked, standing up. Zalara's expression changed. Your DNA was scanned by me. I didn't command it, my body did. He stared at her. You scanned me. I didn't mean to, she said. But it feels like it knows you. Raiden's thoughts spun. My DNA has never been off Earth before this mission. No one has accessed it but the fleet's system. So how can your body already be built to accept it? Zalara stood slowly. That's the question I want you to answer. A silence passed between them. It's not uncomfortable, but heavy, like something old had been opened. Raiden picked up the scanner again. Then we start now. But whatever this is, Commander, it's bigger than both of us. She smiled faintly. I know. That's why I chose you. He didn't respond. He just continued scanning, now with more care. Because the deeper he looked, the clearer it became. Commander Zalara's body was not just alien. It was a message on. He was the one meant to read it. Raiden stood alone in the restricted med lab, far below the command decks. The chamber smelled like old circuits and sterilized metal. Only a handful of crew members knew this room even existed. It wasn't on the official maps, only the commander could grant access. And tonight, she had the door sealed behind him, locking with a heavy metallic clang. In front of him was a black console with curved alien symbols pulsing in low red light. These weren't human systems. This wasn't a regular medbay. This place had secrets and someone had gone to great lengths to hide them. Raiden placed his scanner down and activated the console. The symbols shifted, turning into strange moving patterns more like language than numbers. He followed the instructions Zalara gave him step by step. After 5 commands, the system opened encrypted files. They weren't medical logs. They were something far older. Archive date, pre-Empire era subject, human DNA, interaction with Thalari biocode status, forbidden, high risk of hybrid activation. Raiden leaned in, eyes wide. This wasn't just about Zalara's transformation, this was planned. Someone, long ago, had already studied what happened when humans and Thalari came into contact at a deep genetic level. One entry caught his eye. The Thalari core strain can be awakened by human proximity if certain ancestral triggers are present. The result is unstable, unpredictable, but potentially powerful. All tests were buried, all records sealed. He scrolled through file after file. Each one showed ancient experiments, DNA overlays, glowing body scans. Some showed beings that had lost control, transforming into something unrecognizable. Others showed success. The success cases were always paired. One Thalari, one human, linked by more than touch, linked by something deeper. Some called it biosyncing, others called it bonding, and all of them ended with one warning: do not repeat. Risk of Empire collapse. Raiden stepped back, heart racing. That's what was happening to Zalara. Her body was responding to him because the core strain inside her was waking up something no one had triggered for centuries. And now he knew why she didn't go to her own people. If this got out, they'd call her impure, dangerous, a living threat to the order of the galaxy. He looked at the last file. It was newer. Hidden among the ancient ones. Observation subject Exprime Zalara. Signs of early activation confirmed. So, proximity to human subject are 9 triggers biogenetic reaction. Project reunion may be real. Proceed with silence. His name are 9. They'd been watching him too. He felt cold. This wasn't an accident. Someone knew this would happen. Someone in the Empire had been waiting for the two of them to meet. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed in the room. Now you see the truth. Raiden spun around. Zalara was standing at the door, her black robe flowing around her like smoke. She had entered without sound, as if the room itself allowed her in. You knew about this? Raiden said. You knew it from the start. Suspected, she replied. But I didn't want it to be true. He stepped forward. You're a living project. Your body isn't just reacting, it was designed to find someone like me. She nodded slowly. Yes. And now that it has, I cannot undo it. Raiden's mind raced. Why not warn me earlier? 'Cause if I told you, she said softly, you might have run. He didn't answer. Part of him wanted to be angry, but the other part understood. The files didn't lie. She was in danger. They both were. She stepped closer. Do you still choose to help me? Looked into her eyes, bright gold, filled with heat and fear and something else he couldn't name. This wasn't just about science anymore. It was about survival, about trust. "I'm not walking away," he said. "But you need to tell me everything from now on. No more secrets." She reached out, her fingers brushing his. "Then stay close, Raiden, because what comes next will change everything." Raiden nodded once. They weren't just two strangers on a warship anymore. They were part of something ancient, dangerous, and forbidden sand. They had just crossed the line no one dared touch. Raiden barely slept that night. His thoughts circled like a storm about Zalara, about the forbidden files, about the truth buried beneath the Empire's history. He had seen proof, seen the warnings, and now he was part of it, not by choice, but by fate, by morning. The flagship's energy felt different, tense, quiet, as if the entire crew was holding its breath. When Raiden entered the lab, he noticed it immediately. Two guards stood outside Zalara's quarters who hadn't been there before. Their hands rested on their weapons. Her eyes didn't blink. Something had changed. He walked in and found Zalara standing near the center console, wearing her full armor again. Her expression was sharp, unreadable. She didn't look up when he entered. "You've seen the files," she said. Double quotes. "Yes," Raiden replied. "That someone else has to. That's why they're watching now, isn't it?" Zalara nodded once. "The security corps flagged our access. I kept it quiet, but a whisper still travels faster than light in this empire." Raiden stepped beside her. "You think someone from the Empire knows what's happening?" The console screen lit up without command. A symbol appeared, Droil, burning red, shaped like the twin suns of the Thaleri throne. Zalara's voice grew cold. "Incoming message. Priority 1. From the Emperor himself." Raiden's stomach twisted. The screen cleared, and the Emperor appeared. He was not like the other Staller. His skin deep obsidian, his eyes glowing like twin stars. His voice echoed, powerful and calm. "Commander Zalara, your records show unauthorized genetic activity involving a human officer. You are ordered to cease all contact with this subject immediately. He is to be quarantined, studied, and if necessary, removed." Raiden felt his heart hammer in his chest. "You are hereby warned," the Emperor continued. "Any further deviation will be considered treason. You were chosen to lead, not to merge. Obey or step down." The message ended. Silence fell like a blade. Raiden stared at the screen. That was a threat. Zalara didn't move. That was a command. "But I don't serve blind power. I serve truth." She turned to him. "They will come now. Not just to watch us, but to stop us. I knew this was possible, but I thought we had more time." Raiden stepped closer. "Then what do we do?" Zalara looked up at him. "We keep moving. I'm transferring control of this lab to you. No one else can override it. We work fast. We find the source of the activation, and we learn what my body is turning into be, for the Empire decides for us." Raiden blinked. "You trust me with this?" She leaned in. "My body chose you before I did. I won't ignore that." He nodded. "Then we move now." He sat at the console while Zalara began scanning herself again. This time Raiden noticed something different. Her vitals were stronger. The mutation was still progressing, but it was stabilizing in his presence. "You're changing again," he said. "I feel it," she whispered. "It doesn't hurt now. It feels... right." Raiden didn't speak. He didn't need to. The Emperor's warning still echoed in his head. If the Empire feared this transformation, it meant one thing. They were afraid of what she could become. That day, the ship's sensors picked up a new Signalan Imperial scout cruiser, cloaked and circling. It didn't send a message. It didn't make contact. It was just watching. Raiden saw it on the screen. They're not waiting for answers. They're preparing for action. Zalara stared at the screen. "Then let them prepare. Let them decide my fate." She turned to him, fire in her voice now. "They trained me to lead their fleets. They feared nothing. But now, because of one human, they panic like cowards." Raiden looked at her. "You're not alone in this." "No," she replied. "Now I never will be." And as the Empire's cruiser floated in silence outside the ship, two figures stood inside, no longer patient. No longer cautious, they were. Ready? Because war wasn't the only danger now. Something older, deeper, and more powerful than politics was waking inside her, and it had already chosen its path. The ship was silent, hanging like a ghost in the black sea of space. Most of the crew had retired to their quarters, but Raiden couldn't sleep. He stayed in the lab, staring at the scans, watching Zalara's transformation unfold, piece by piece, layer by layer. Her body wasn't just changing, it was adapting, evolving into something neither fully Thalari nor human. But it wasn't complete, and something was coming. The ship's lights suddenly flickered. Then came the sound, all at first, then louder. A low pulse. Like a heartbeat. Not mechanical, not from any system. It was coming from her quarters. Raiden stood fast, grabbed a scanner, and ran as he reached her door. The guards were all ready. Down and conscious, but breathing. The air shimmered with energy. The metal door wasn't locked, but it buzzed with heat as he touched it. He pushed it open. Inside, the room was glowing. Zalara lay on the floor, her armor in pieces, her skin pulsing. With radiant lines of golden light, her back arched, her mouth open. She was breathing hard. Every inhale sounded like a crack of thunder, and she was calling his name. Raiden, she gasped. You have to stay close. My body is losing control. He rushed to her side, kneeling. Skin burned like fire. But she didn't flinch when he touched her. In fact, her muscles relaxed instantly. Her heart rate dropped. Shaking stopped. It's you, she whispered, her voice weak. Only you. Raiden checked the scanner. Her cells were in chaos, splitting and rebuilding in seconds. Organs were reorganizing. Neural pathways were reconfiguring. She was being rewritten. His presence slowed the process down. You're rejecting your old form, he said. You're not just transforming, you're being reborn. Her eyes opened, golden and wide. I can't hold it back anymore. My body is trying to finish the bond. Raiden froze. Bond? Her hand reached up and touched his face. It's not just biology anymore. You've stabilized the pattern. My body is responding to you as a partner. He pulled back slightly. You mean ... like a mate? She nodded slowly. Yes. But this is not about love or choice. This is survival. My body picked you because it needed to merge, needed balance, and you matched. Raiden's mind reeled. So this was fate? Designed by your ancestors? No, she whispered. Not fate. It's activation. Trigger buried deep inside. Me that woke when I met you. Well, the bond is ancient, but the connection is new, and it's real. The scanner beeped again. Her vitals were rising too fast. He placed both hands on her shoulders. Tell me what to do. Stay close, she whispered. Keep touching me. Your presence guides the final phase. If you leave, I won't survive it. Raiden nodded and held her tightly. Her body trembled against him, but slowly the glow began to dim. Her breathing evened out. The wild pulse in the room faded. Then came the silence. Long, still powerful. She lay in his arms, weak but alive. Her body was warm, her skin now smooth and marked with glowing veins of soft gold. The transformation hadn't finished, but it had slowed, stabilized. You stayed, she murmured. Of course I did, he said. You're not going through this alone. Zalara opened her eyes again. The Empire will attack soon. They've seen the energy waves from this room. They'll know what I'm becoming. Raiden nodded. Let them come. You'll be ready. She sat up slowly, gripping his hand. No, Raiden, we'll be ready. And in that moment, something between them clicked into place. Not just the science, not just the bond. It was trust earned. Not by rules, but by fire. Outside the ship, the Imperial scout vanished from the radar inside. The first hybrid of two worlds opened her eyes. Anne knew her evolution was far from over. The stars outside the ship burned quietly, but inside the chamber, storm was about to begin. Raiden stood in front of her, watching as Zalara removed the final layer of her armor. She stood tall, proud, her body now marked with glowing golden lines that pulsed like a living map. Her transformation was not complete, but the next step was beyond science. It was tradition. It was the ritual. "You're sure this is the only way?" Raiden asked, his voice steady. Zalara nodded. "This is what our ancestors called the soul link. It is sacred. It binds to life's body, mind, and spirit. It's how the ancient Thaleri survived collapse. It's how I survive now." Raiden glanced at the old platform in the center of the room. It looked like stone, but it shimmered with soft energy. Symbols moved across it slowly, waiting to be touched, to be activated. "No human has ever done this," he said. "No Thalari has done it in over 500 years, she replied. "But my body chose you. The bond has already begun. If we stop now, I lose control, and I may not come back." Raiden stepped onto the platform. "What happens during the ritual?" he asked. Zalara walked forward, her bare feet touching the glowing symbols. "We share everything. Memories, thoughts, pain, hope. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is held back." He met her eyes. "And if I break, if I can't take it, then I die," she said simply. Raiden clenched his jaw. Didn't look away then. "Let's begin." Zalara raised her hand and placed her palm over the center rune. The room responded instantly. The air shimmered. The platform glowed. And Raiden felt it like a pulse inside his chest, not physical, but deep, as if his soul had been touched. Her hand found his, warm and steady. Their surroundings dissolved into light. In the next breath, Raiden was no longer standing in a room. He was inside something else, something vast and ancient, a memory field, a soul space. He saw Zalara's past. She was young, in training, learning to fight with perfect discipline. He saw her rise through ranks. He saw her silence emotions to survive. He saw the mission that changed her when she touched the dying star, when something inside her cracked open. Then he saw flashes of himself, memories from his own life, now floating beside hers. Childhood, war, loneliness, moments of bravery, moments of doubt. Nothing was hidden. Their minds touched fully. He felt her fear of death, not the kind from battle, but from vanishing into something unknown. He felt her trust in him, raw and real. He felt how her body was choosing to evolve around him, not just to survive, but to bond, to become something new. Then came the pain. Raiden gasped as fire ripped through his chest. Emotion, memory, energy, all colliding at once. He dropped to one knee, breathing hard. Zalara gripped his shoulders. "You must hold," she said. "The bond is finalizing." He gritted his teeth, forcing himself to stay upright. Their bodies began to glow, his chest marked with faint golden lines that mirrored hers. Their hearts beat in sync, their minds locked in perfect harmony. Then came the silence, warm, full, complete. Raiden opened his eyes. He was back in the room, lying beside Zalara on the platform. She was breathing steadily, eyes open, gaze focused only on him. "It's done," she whispered. He felt it too. A presence inside him, not controlling, not foreign, but part of him now. Her thoughts brushed against his without words. Calm, safe. "Connected? You feel it?" she asked. He nodded. "We're bonded." She sat up slowly. "Then we're more than human or Thaleri now. We're the bridge." Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. Lights flashed red. Raiden stood fast. A voice crackled through the ship's speaker. "This is Imperial Scout Command. Commander Zalara, you are ordered to surrender. The human is to be taken alive." Zalara's eyes burned bright. "They know," she said. "They're afraid," Raiden replied. She stood taller than before, stronger. "Let them come." He stood beside her. "Let them try." Together they walked toward the bridge too. Beings now one, bonded not by command, but by choice. The ritual was complete, but the war was just beginning. The enemy ship appeared above them without warning. Massive, black, silent, its weapons were already charged. The Thaleri Empire had made its decision. They weren't going to wait. They weren't going to ask again. Raiden stood beside Zalara on the command deck. The lights flickered from red to black as the system locked into battle mode.
Ow.
Everyone on board watched her, some with fear, and some with awe. None with doubt. She looked different now. Her skin was smooth and radiant, glowing softly along the golden lines that now curved across her neck, arms, and back. Her eyes no longer flickered, they blazed with steady light. She was stronger, sharper, something ancient lived inside her now. But she hadn't become a monster, she had become more, and Raiden felt it too. A quiet voice inside him. Her thoughts, her strength, her memories. The bond was complete. They were still two, but they moved like one. Enemy is charging plasma. Cannons, said the officer at the console. They will fire in 40 seconds. Zalara raised her hand calmly. Activate shields. Focus all power on front deflection. Bring up comes. I will speak to them. Raiden watched as the image of the enemy bridge appeared on the screen. The Emperor sat on a high throne, his face sharp with rage. Around him stood elite guards, faces hidden by black helmets. You disobeyed me, he growled. Zalara stood tall. I did more than that. It became something your fear could never control. The Emperor leaned forward. You are no longer Thaleri. You are something else. That makes you dangerous. Raiden stepped forward. Then why are you so afraid? Of her? The Emperor's eyes turned to him. You are the virus. Your blood broke the balance. And now you stand at her side, as if you belong. I do, Raiden said, because she chose truth. It's not silence. Zalara spoke again, louder now. You trained me to fight, to lead, but you never prepared for someone who would question your laws. I am not your puppet. I am evolution. The Emperor gave one final order. Destroy the ship. The screen went. Black Raiden looked to her. We can't win a full battle. Not with this crew. We don't have to, she replied. We only need to show them what we are. She turned to the deck crew. Redirect all power to the core. Prepare for a full burst pulse through the bond link. I will channel it through my body. Let them see what they fear. Aiden stepped closer. You'll need me. You're not doing this alone. She touched his arm. We never were. He nodded. Then let's change everything. They moved to the center platform. The room dimmed. A golden energy circle formed around them. Raiden closed his eyes. He could feel her heartbeat, her thoughts, her strength flowing through him. Then came the light. It exploded from the ship like a wave. Golden ring of energy swept into space, fast, wide, and unstoppable. It hit the Imperial ship with full force, but it didn't destroy them. It showed them. Every soldier on that ship saw what Zalara had become, saw her memories, her pain, her truth. They saw the bond, not as a weapon, but as a bridge, human. And Thaleri joined by choice, not force. When the light faded, the enemy ship didn't fire. Instead, it turned slowly, drifting back into the stars. The crew stood silent, no cheer, no applause, just quiet respect. Zalara turned to Raiden. As they saw it, they felt it, he said. That's enough. Later, the Emperor sent a single message. We will not pursue. But no, this you are no longer under our command. You are on your own. Zalara accepted it. She didn't need their command anymore. She had her own path now, with Raiden by her side. She turned the ship toward deep space, not as a soldier, not as a rebel, but as something new, human, and commander. 1. The first of a future no empire could control.